My husband's assistant sent him a text at 2 a.m., still thinking about last night. I'll never forget how you touched me. My stomach dropped. He slept peacefully as I took a deep breath, typed a reply, and waited. The moment his phone buzzed again, I woke him up and whispered, "You have a message." His eyes widened as he read it, and knew his secret was no longer safe. I never thought I'd be sharing my story here, but I need to get this off my chest. Maybe someone can relate or offer advice. Here's what happened. It was a typical Tuesday night. David, my husband of 10 years, was asleep beside me. Our 2 kids, Emily and Jake, were in their rooms. I couldn't sleep, so I reached for my e-reader, only to find it out of battery. Not wanting to disturb David, I grabbed his iPad from the nightstand. As I unlocked it, a message popped up, "Still thinking about last night. I'll never forget how you touched me." My heart stopped. The message was from Lisa, David's assistant. I felt sick. I stared at the screen, hoping it was a mistake. But deep down, I knew. I decided to reply, "This is Sarah. What do you mean by that message?" Almost immediately, the 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again. Finally, a response, "I'm so sorry, Sarah. I didn't mean for you to find out this way." I couldn't breathe. My hands were shaking. I knew I had to confront David, but I wanted to see his reaction. I gently shook his shoulder. "David," I whispered, "you have a message." He stirred, rubbed his eyes, and reached for his iPad. As he read the messages, his face went pale. His eyes widened, and he looked at me with panic. "Sarah, I can explain," he stammered. "Explain?" I said, my voice rising. "Explain how your assistant is sending you intimate messages in the middle of the night? Explain how you betrayed our marriage?" Tears welled up, but I held them back. I needed answers. "It's not what it looks like," he said, sitting up and reaching for my hand. I pulled away. "Then tell me, David. What is it? Because it looks like you've been unfaithful." He sighed, running a hand through his hair. "Lisa and we've been seeing each other for a few months. It started after a late night at the office. One thing led to another, and I made a terrible mistake." "A few months?" I whispered. "How could you do this to us? To our family?" David moved into the guest room. We barely spoke. I was consumed by anger, sadness, betrayal. I confided in my sister, Laura, who offered me a place to stay. One evening, I got a call from an unknown number. Hesitant, I answered. "Sarah, it's Lisa," the voice said softly. I felt a surge of anger. "What do you want?" I snapped. "I just wanted to apologize," she said, her voice trembling. "I never intended for this to happen. I never wanted to come between you and David." "Well, you did," I replied coldly. "And now I have to pick up the pieces. I've resigned from the company," she continued. I thought it was the least I could do. I hung up. Her words felt hollow. I found solace in online communities. I stumbled upon a subreddit called r/cheating_stories, where people shared their experiences with infidelity. Reading their stories made me feel less alone. One story resonated with me. I logged into my husband's iCloud and discovered he had been sleeping with a friend of ours. The reason? He claimed I wasn't home to take care of his needs. Another user shared, "I caught my husband with his coworker at 2 a.m. in our shower. I took a photo, left without a word, and checked into a hotel. I didn't know what to do next." These stories mirrored my own pain. I reached out to some of these individuals, forming a support network that became invaluable during my healing process. Counseling and reflection. David and I decided to attend couples counseling. During one session, our therapist asked David why he had strayed. "I felt disconnected," he admitted. "Work was stressful, and I didn't know how to communicate my feelings to Sarah. Lisa was there, and it just happened." His words stung. I had always been there for him, or so I thought. It made me question our entire relationship. Had there been signs I missed? After months of counseling, soul-searching, and sleepless nights, I made a decision. I couldn't continue in a marriage where trust had been broken so profoundly. David and I agreed to separate, prioritizing the well-being of our children. We sat Emily and Jake down, explaining in the simplest terms that Mommy and Daddy would be living in different houses but that our love for them would never change. It was the hardest conversation I've ever had. I moved into an apartment in Lincoln Park, close enough for David to remain an active part of the children's lives. Co-parenting was a challenge, but we were committed to making it work for the sake of our kids. Looking back, I realize that infidelity doesn't just happen out of the blue. It's a culmination of unmet needs, lack of communication, and personal vulnerabilities. While David's actions were inexcusable, I also recognized the importance of open dialogue in a relationship. Trust, once broken, is challenging to rebuild. But through therapy, support from loved ones, and personal growth, healing is possible. To those who find themselves in similar situations, know that you're not alone. Seek support, prioritize your well-being, and remember that your feelings are valid. The path to healing is personal and unique, but with time, clarity, and peace can be found. I thought the worst was over. I thought finding out about the affair, the late-night message, the confession, all of it, I thought that was the storm. But no. That was just the thunder. The real storm hit after I moved out. 2 weeks after I moved into the apartment in Lincoln Park, I got an email from the kids' school. Apparently, David missed picking them up. Again. That was the 3rd time in 2 weeks. I called him. No answer. I texted. No reply. I called again, this time from a different number. He picked up. Hello? It's me. Where are you? I snapped. Sarah? Why are you calling from someone else's number? Because you've been ignoring me. The school just called. You forgot the kids. Again. He sighed heavily. I got caught up with work. I paused. Are you with her? Silence. I'm at work. You didn't answer the question. More silence. Then, Sarah, I don't have to report my every move to you anymore. That stung. You do when it affects our children. He hung up. The photo 3 days later, I got a text from Laura, my sister. Laura, you might want to sit down before you look at this. Attached was a photo taken by one of her friends who happened to be at a bar in River North. David. Lisa. Kissing. Holding hands. In public. He had promised to cut her off. Told me it was over. Told the counselor it was just a mistake and already ended. I sat staring at the photo for 10 straight minutes. Everything around me felt quiet. Too quiet. I didn't even cry this time. I forwarded the photo to our counselor and just typed, "Thought you should see this before our next session." Then came the letter. A white envelope in the mail with Cook County Circuit Court printed in the corner. David had filed for custody. Full custody. He was accusing me of being emotionally unstable and manipulative. He claimed I was turning the kids against him and damaging their relationship with their father. I couldn't breathe. I called him immediately. He answered this time. You filed for custody? I'm doing what's best for the kids. You're sleeping with your assistant and forgetting to pick them up from school. You think that's what's best? I'm trying to move forward. You're stuck in the past. My voice was shaking. You lied to me. You lied in therapy. You lied to the kids. I'm done talking about this, he said and hung up. Lisa started texting me. Yeah. She had the audacity to send me messages. The first one, I never wanted to cause harm. I love David. I think the kids should have stability, and that might not be with you. The second one, maybe it's time you focus on your own healing instead of attacking us. I didn't respond. I wanted to scream, to throw the phone, to drive over and confront her face to face. But I didn't. Instead, I documented everything. Texts. Photos. Missed pickups. Emails. I kept records. Then, out of nowhere, I got a message from someone I hadn't talked to in years, David's old coworker, Sam. We were never close, but we'd met at a few company parties. Sam's message read, "Hey Sarah, I heard what happened. I'm sorry. I know I probably shouldn't get involved, but you should know this wasn't just Lisa. There was another woman. Last year. A client. Her name's Monique." It didn't last, but it wasn't just Lisa. I stared at the message. So it wasn't just one mistake. It was a pattern. I asked for proof. He didn't have screenshots or photos, but he said everyone at the office knew about it. Apparently, people had been gossiping about David for months. The affair with Lisa was just the one that finally got real. I took all of it, the photo, the texts, the missed pickups, Sam's message, to my lawyer. He looked at me across the desk and said, "This is going to get ugly. But you've got more than enough to show he's not acting in the best interest of the kids." I nodded. I don't want to destroy him. I just want the truth to be seen. My lawyer leaned back. Sometimes, Sarah, the truth is what destroys them. The kids started asking questions one night. Jake, my 8-year-old, crawled into bed with me. "Mom," he whispered, "why is Daddy always with that lady with the red hair?" "Lisa." I froze. "Where did you see her?" I haven't told him I'm done playing nice. He made this a war. I'm just preparing for battle. I thought I was ready for anything after the custody papers. I thought nothing could surprise me anymore. I was wrong. The private investigator's report a week before our court date, the private investigator I hired called. "Sarah," he said, "you were right to follow your instincts. It's worse than you thought." I sat down, already bracing myself. She's not just his assistant. Lisa's been using a different name on social media, Elise Matthews. She has a second Instagram. It's private. But I got in through one of her old college friends. She's been documenting everything. He emailed me screenshots. There she was, Lisa, or Elise, posting cryptic captions under photos of wine glasses, hotel beds, and snapshots of David's car. He says he's almost free. Just a little longer. Chicago nights with my future. Love doesn't care about timing. It just happens. But that wasn't the twist. One photo, hidden among her stories, showed something else. David and Lisa. In my old car. The car David sold last year, claiming he was trading it in to cover a tax bill. Only, he didn't. He transferred the title to Lisa. I ran outside, checked the old insurance paperwork still buried in a drawer. VIN numbers matched. He didn't sell it. He gave it to her. The man who told me we were too broke to take the kids to Disney gave my car, a car I worked hard to help pay off, to the woman he cheated with. That wasn't just betrayal. That was theft. The anonymous letter. A few days later, I got a letter in the mail. No return address. Inside was a single page, typed, "You think Lisa is the only problem? Check David's work emails. He's been losing clients left and right, one of them is threatening to sue. If the company finds out why, he's gone. That job isn't as safe as he says." My stomach turned. I didn't know who sent the letter. Maybe Sam? Maybe someone else from his office? But I didn't ignore it. I took it seriously. I forwarded it to my lawyer, then called an old friend of David's who still worked at the firm. "What's going on at his office?" I asked bluntly. She hesitated, then finally said, "They've been investigating something. I'm not supposed to know details, but it's bad. He's on thin ice." I asked, "Does it have anything to do with Lisa?" Long pause. "All I'll say is she's not just his assistant. She used to be a client. Their relationship crossed a lot of lines. That part floored me. David told me she started as his assistant. But no. She was originally a client, from a smaller brand David helped market. After a year, she left her company, and somehow, David helped her land a spot at his firm as an assistant. It clicked. She wasn't some random affair. She was a plan. A project. Maybe even a scheme. I started wondering if this whole thing was more than an affair. The conversation with the kids' teacher. Then I got a call from Jake and Emily's teacher, Ms. Waller. "Hi, Sarah. I just wanted to check in. Jake's been quieter than usual. And he mentioned something odd." My stomach sank. "What did he say?" "He told me, Daddy said we might be moving far away soon." "Has David talked to you about relocating?" "No," I said, ice flooding my veins. "Not a word." "Okay," she said carefully. "I just thought you should know." I called David. No answer. I called again. Still nothing. So I sent one text: "If you try to take my children without court approval, I will call the police. This is your only warning." 10 minutes later, he called back. "You're blowing things out of proportion. Did you tell the kids you were moving away?" "I mentioned I might get relocated for work." "You don't even have that job secure," I snapped. He was quiet. "Exactly." Just when I thought I had a handle on all of it, Laura showed up at my door holding a folder. "Sarah, I didn't know if I should show you this. But I found it in Mom's attic." I opened it. It was full of old papers. Letters. Photos. Most of it had nothing to do with David. But then I saw it. A photo of David. From years before we met. Standing with a girl I didn't recognize. Then another letter, addressed to my mom. From David. "Before we ever dated. I know you said to leave Sarah alone. I just needed you to understand why I'm reaching out again. I still care about her. I always will. Even if she hates me for it." My hands were shaking. He knew my mother before he knew me? How? I flipped through the photos again. And then I saw it, the girl. Not Lisa. Not me. My cousin. To be continued. I haven't confronted him yet. I haven't told the kids. I don't even know what to do next. All I know is the man I married isn't the man I thought he was. It all led to this. Months of lies, sleepless nights, secrets unraveling one by one. The photo, the private investigator, the car, the fake name, the old letter addressed to my mother, the truth about Lisa being a former client. And now, the photo of David with my cousin. Yeah. My cousin. It wasn't just infidelity anymore. It was an entire double life, a mosaic of lies stitched over years, sewn so tightly I didn't even feel the unraveling until the whole damn thing collapsed. We were in court. It was supposed to be a routine custody hearing. Just a status update. David sat across from me in his suit, smug, calm, like nothing could touch him. Lisa was there too. Yes, she came. In a pencil skirt, heels too high for the courtroom, and a smug smile that matched his. They whispered and passed notes like high schoolers. My lawyer kept me grounded. "Keep your composure. We'll let the evidence speak." Then the judge asked about financial stability. David claimed he had recently secured a raise and was fully prepared to provide for the children. So my lawyer stood up and asked, "Do you want to tell the court about the car you gifted your assistant while claiming financial hardship to your wife?" David froze. Lisa's smile vanished. The judge raised an eyebrow. My lawyer continued, "We also have evidence of a $3,000 diamond bracelet purchased during a claimed overtime weekend, with a matching social media post from Ms. Elise Matthews. Then, the final blow, we'd also like to enter this document," he said, handing the judge the letter addressed to my mother. This proves a pre-existing relationship with the plaintiff's family, raising serious concerns about potential manipulation. David tried to speak. That letter, it's old. I didn't mean for her to see it. You knew my mother? I said, unable to stop myself. You dated my cousin and still walked into my life pretending we were strangers? The courtroom went quiet. Lisa looked at him, genuinely confused now. Wait. Her cousin? David's voice broke. I didn't know it would go this far. The judge slammed the gavel. We're taking a recess. Outside the courtroom, everything exploded. What the hell, David? I yelled. I never planned for this, he shouted back. I didn't plan to fall in love with you. It just happened. Lisa stepped in. Wait, you told me she was just your ex from years ago, not her family. What kind of twisted, stop, he said, voice cracking. I didn't lie to hurt you. I loved you both. You don't love anyone but yourself, I snapped. You had 2 families. 2 lives. You lied to everyone. I made mistakes, no, I interrupted. You made choices. He finally broke. You want to know the truth? Fine. Yes, I was with your cousin before I met you. I tried to get back in touch through your mom. And then I met you, and you were nothing like her. You were kind. Real. I didn't mean to fall for you. But I did. Lisa looked like she had been slapped. And me, she asked quietly. What was I? David didn't answer. Lisa turned, eyes glassy, and walked away. Back in the courtroom, David looked hollow. My lawyer requested temporary full custody pending further review. Granted. David didn't argue. He just sat there, staring ahead. I think the weight of all the lies finally caught up to him. After court, Laura met me outside. He's unraveling, she said. I know, I replied. But I'm done saving him. The days after he tried calling. Once. Left a message. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Sarah. For everything. I didn't respond. Lisa sent a text too. I didn't know about your cousin. I didn't know any of it. I'm out. I quit the firm. I just wanted you to know that. I left her on read. Jake asked me once, why is Daddy so sad now? I told him, because sometimes when you make a lot of bad choices, your heart gets heavy. And Daddy's heart is heavy right now. He nodded like he understood. Emily doesn't ask much. She's quiet, watching everything. People always talk about betrayal like it's one big moment. A slammed door. A text message at 2 a.m. A lipstick on a collar. But the truth? Betrayal is slow. It creeps. It's in the forgotten conversations. The way they stop looking at you like they used to. The late nights. The excuses. The way your gut tells you something's wrong, and you brush it off until you can't anymore. I learned that the hard way. I learned that someone can say they love you and still tear your whole life apart behind your back. I don't know if I believe in closure anymore. But I do believe in choosing peace. The divorce is moving forward. I have full custody for now. We're working out a parenting plan, supervised visits at first. David has a lot of damage to fix, mostly with himself. I won't say I'm okay. Not yet. But for the first time in a long time I feel free. And that's something. Healing isn't clean. It's not a straight line. Some days I cry in the shower. Some days I dance with my kids in the kitchen. But I'm moving. And I'm not looking back.